lóko. Podium International wọ́n ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ látìgbà tí wọ́n ti ń bàbọ̀ wọn ò fìgbà kan tẹ́rì o. Wọ́n ti wá ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bẹ̀bẹ̀ dé. Podium Cinema ni wọ́n tún gbé dé. Podium Cinema lórí YouTube ẹ follow wọn kẹ́ ẹ like wọn kẹ́ ẹ subscribe. Ibẹ̀ lẹ́tì mọ̀ wọ àwọn àjá àbálẹ̀ fíìmù ẹ̀dọ̀kí fíìmù tó léfo gan tààrà. Podium Cinema mo bẹ́rí fún yín fíìmù mẹ́sàn-án ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni wọ́n kó jáde o àwọn gbàǹkọ́gbé fíìmù èkíní májẹ̀mú ẹ̀gbọ́n èkejì my wet ẹ̀kẹta ọmọ ẹni ẹ̀kẹrin àlàmú èkó ẹ̀karùn-ún àìmọ̀ ṣe wá rí pé nǹkan kì í ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ràgbó ó kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ eléyìí lẹ́ti kẹjù èdè Yorùbá ni wọ́n fi ṣe àwọn fíìmù yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹfà sẹ́ẹ̀kẹsàn-án èdè òyìnbó ni wọ́n kọ́ ẹ̀kẹfà tẹ́mà èkeje the casting ẹ̀kẹjọ M1 the detective ẹ̀kẹsàn-án 100 M1 the detective at 100 orí síríìsì lẹ́fì máa wò ó ìyẹn dàgbéléwò nìyẹn Podium International Podium Cinema ẹ fọ́lọ̀ wọn kẹ́ ẹ láìkì wọn lórí YouTube wọ́n wà lórí Facebook wọ́n wà lórí Instagram Podium Cinema ó ti dọbẹ̀ ẹ subscribe.
Good evening and welcome to today's program, Matters Arising. We'll be looking at the fire that gutted the Alaba International Market this week. What the police say, what the people say. We'll be watching the video and then people can make up their own mind. I'm not here alone today. I'm here with my co-host, Baba Jala. And we've also got it's flooding season now, and we're seeing that Lagos, as usually a flooded city, how will it fare in this time? So I will just bring Baba Jala over to the airwaves. Baba Jala, say hello to our viewers today.
Good evening, and thank you for having me again this evening. And we hope to be able to do justice to things of concern to all of us, matters arising. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. There are a lot of things going on, but we've just chosen these two topics. Perhaps because fire concerns nearly everybody. And if we don't have adequate machineries in place to stop it, then you would ask, is it an act of sabotage? I don't want this to be like a revenge on a particular tribe, but I'm not going to, I'll just, maybe before we go into the discussion for today, I'll just play the video and our viewers can see what's really happened, and then we can talk more about it.
Why are they here? Why are they here?
Jesus, life in Alaba. Life in Alaba.
With serious fire happened in Alaba today.
Jesus. That is on the spread. See now.
Wait to concern me.
Baba Jala, we've just seen the fire there now. CSP Udain came out during the week and said, it was not any fire, that they were trying to apprehend some hoodlums. But I couldn't see any police presence, and there were no hoodlums that were paraded. Is it a deliberate attempt to sabotage people's business in Lagos?
Well, if I may come in at this point, Nigeria has become a place where truth is turned overhead and turned upside down, and the falsehood becomes truth. Alaba market had been a target for over the years. There have been fires, but when we look at the causative of these fires. It's about the uh, certain groups of people not liking the domination for that group in that place. Because I've had different stories from different people who tried to invest in Alaba and found out that if they do not belong to
A particular tribe.
a particular group of people, ethnic nationalities in the country, they cannot invest there. And even those who come from the land on which that market is can't invest in that place. If they bring products, no one buys it because there's sort of a mafia in the market that controls the trade completely. It was a thing that grew gradually. Most of these people bought off the original owners of the Alaba market, paid them money, unfortunately. They now are partakers or the buyers of the products, but don't have the products to sell. So it's a very serious matter. A lot of places are still going to be burnt or even broken down because there's no commonality between the communities that uh, live in Lagos now. It has always been there. It is it's a narrative, a conversation that has grown over the years. It just didn't start. It
Yeah.
started.
So I will quote what SP Benjamin Udane have said. He said the narrative that it was a fire was a wrong one. He said the police was acting on credible information, and then police officers from Ojo Division raided shanties from uh, around the market, and they arrested some suspected criminals and recovered some weapons. Obviously, you could see the weapons they branded. They, I think, about 4 rounds of bullets and 2 handgun, not even a proper maybe AK-97 or whatever. And then we ask, is how on earth has this happened? And the fire service are saying the hoodlums prevented them from going there. So if the police were there to arrest people, how come hoodlums were preventing the fire service? To me, it seems something is not adding.
Well, like I said earlier, we are in a very grave danger in that country. Truth is not known but to be true anymore, and we find that uh, the police and the fire service and the people, the hoodlums, like they said, have different roles to play. The hoodlums could have been an imagined thing by the police. Will the hoodlums be carrying just a few arms of or a few arms, like the gun and the handgun and
Yeah,
some
it's only
other?
2 guns they were
And
holding.
then
In fact,
how come that a very big fire to the magnitude of what we are seeing occurred? Did somebody amongst them
trigger it.
set fire to it? And who? Can't the police investigate this? In denial that it's not a fire, it's not a very good and a good reasoning from the police. Looks like it's been suggested over the years. Local police should have by now be set up in their various regions or states.
Community.
Who know the terrain, those who can investigate easily, those who can go into homes and speak the language of the people to them, not foreign police officers from different places who will be looking for translators. This is what we are still beset with. And if any major incident like this happens anywhere in the country, you find that investigation is so slow and it's not forensic. Most of the time they cannot identify where the fire must have come from, originally. They just look aghast and look lost. And in fact, the fire brigade system in Lagos is nondescript. It's not of the international standard, which Lagos claims to be of an international city. So you see, we are still in a big mess. If things don't change rapidly in terms of the existence of the people in that country, then we'll be having this type of incidents happening over and over. And it may even sometimes consume some estates where people are living. So
I don't know if you have a. We could hear some background noise. I don't know whether it's from my end or your end, Baba Jala. If
oh,
you
yeah,
could
it
help
should
us.
be. Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Uh,
Lawrence, move on, the
so
program.
yeah, we'll just wait for Baba Jala to sort that out. But for me, I think it's a deliberate attempt. Uh, whether
To
a
destroy the
particular
market.
tribe whether a particular tribe is dominating a market or a particular tribe is dominating a place anywhere in Nigeria, whether Yoruba land, for me, I think it is trade. Now, our people's mentality is just fixated on Alaba international market, and those people are making a success of it, and we should not be envious. Now, the model Alaba International is using is importing cheap material or cheap product from China. Now, there is nothing stopping us in Yoruba land from producing our own television, because I know at one time there was the Westminster market, which does not have Igbo domination, although Igbos are more in trading. There is nothing stopping us from producing our own mobile phones, our own electrical products, our own television, and
Electric kettles and all
yeah.
that.
So
Microwaves.
being fixated on the fact that Igbos are dominating Alaba market, these are majority of them are people who are struggling themselves.
Yeah,
Majority in that market are people who maybe their uncle have made it in life and opened a shop for them in Alaba market, and they are thriving. And they are doing that to help themselves out of poverty. Now, if these people are helping themselves out of poverty and the government cannot create a job for them, why go that length to burn down their market? And for the law enforcement to now be saying there was no fire, it was hoodlums. For me, it seems the Nigerian law enforcement is not fit for purpose. And it's part of the things. I know we always bring it back to let's have our own nation, or a lot of people have said restructure. Even I mean, Nigeria is going to lose everything. There's no doubt about that, because the Biafra nation would eventually go. It's just whether they will go or not go is a foregone conclusion. The only thing now is how soon can Nigeria hold out before these people go. But whilst we are still in Nigeria, people deserve decency. People deserve a right to life, a right to dignity, a right to hold on to whatever property that they've got. Now, we look at fire has gutted it. A lot of goods and materials are already burnt, so there's nothing anybody can do about it. Now, let me not say recompense for those who have perpetrated the evil, but what
well,
compensation would
if I may bring an
yeah,
enlightened note
let me just what
on that,
compensation would these people get?
compare thing you just said. Our president-elect, before he became a president-elect, usually went around the country, particularly to give donations to places where there's fire gotten places and other
Other
events
places.
of unnatural formation.
Exactly. He went to
So
Kano
I
to
would
give them
expect
50 million.
that he will
And Katsina and Kaduna.
extend his hands of this thing, generosity to the people of Alaba. Well, I'm just saying, I don't know what he may do. And I'm just saying, I don't know what he may decide or his comment on this type, incessant fires. This is not the first time in the last 8 months that the fire had gutted parts of Alaba. This is not the first time. Looks like this one is the biggest
Yeah.
because I understand there was an explosion before this fire started. So
Yeah,
if
there was an explosion. And to imagine that
they
the
used to
police
say
are
it is not
trying
a
to
fire,
change the
then
narrative.
I don't know where they come from. Are they from space? It's true. What, and we are seeing the fire and smoke billowing out into the sky.
It's so unfortunate that the people who have lost their I don't know whether they said somebody died, but let's assume nobody died. But this is somebody's livelihood in this period where Nigeria is so hard. uh there are cash is a problem, having taken all the cash, the old cash away and destroy them, and there are no new cash. I don't know how they want the economy to thrive, an economy that is already
Well,
on its knees.
well,
A lot of big companies are complaining that they are not selling their products. uh, they are not selling their products because uh, quite a lot of people are not having cash to patronize them.
yeah. Simply, you put it that people don't have disposable income to
Yeah,
spend on other things other than
they don't
survival.
even have income to spend on the
Yeah,
necessary,
on the necessary.
let alone disposable income.
Exactly.
And now the little that people have done for themselves, we are going about destroying it. uh Before we go to our next topic, maybe you can just what do you think should happen? Because we can't tell these people to go and take law into their hands, but how can these people get recompense for their law?
Well, it comes to the hands of one, the local government, the state government, and the federal government. That is if they have the sense of compassion to see that these people are the citizens of the country and they need to be assisted in coming out of this mayhem that has just happened to all of them. They deserve to be assisted. No, no matter whatever political undertone that might have happened, burning people's property does not solve the problem. It only aggravates the problem, and which we are facing now. And we are saying we are going into a new era, and then we are having an aggravated destruction of people's property, their livelihood, and some may not even survive.
Exactly, because
And
when somebody is going to borrow money
yeah,
to buy goods, and
some
now
of them
all the goods have gone in
don't have
flames.
proper records of what they make. So it means no, it's unimaginable. I'm sorry,
It's so pathetic.
it's
But
unimaginable.
yeah, this is a man-made disaster.
Yeah,
But then we'll look at what we would call natural disaster, which is not natural. I remember in 2004, my general studies teacher told us to write things on natural disaster. And a lot of us were writing tornado in Florida, uh, different high topics. And he said, no, I don't want you to write on the disasters that is happening in America. I want you to write on disaster that is happening in Nigeria. And I will tell you 9 out of 10 people that wrote disaster wrote about flood. Flood has become our own main natural disaster in Nigeria, and especially in Lagos, that is sitting on the water table. Now, the problem with Lagos is whenever there is a rainy season, then the people will just begin to beg God. There's nothing they can do. Some houses are actively sitting Some houses are actively sitting on
Water table.
the water table. As usual, I'm going to play a video so we can see the magnitude. I know there are floods everywhere in the world. Some cities maybe, but if you, with proper planning, you could mitigate it. You could plan against it. You could do some seashoring and things. But when our people feel helpless and you see the debris coming out, then it becomes a case of what is really happened. Let me just play the video and then we can discuss about it.
Jesus! Hey! Oh boy! Yeah. Oh boy! Yeah. Trời! Alaba Lando and the boy.
So, Baba Jala, you just saw that brief flood.
It's brought out of, you see, it just shows that the area, the geophysical area that is being shown, has no proper what you call sanitation.
Yeah, in fact, the flood was now out of the question I was looking at the debris was going, and looking at the amount, the people were still inside.
Yeah,
I don't know whether they were still expecting to trade in that condition.
You see, I don't know if the government of the day wants to reduce population by allowing this disaster to continue. Because and again, if they don't die, they contract diseases. Are there hospitals to take them? The answer is no, because health service is not free in Nigeria. No. You have to buy everything for yourself. Fortunately, when I was growing up, health service was free. We had the best of health service in our time. That some of our hospitals in the west of Nigeria were referrals for foreign patients from overseas. They came there for treatment. Yeah, from flood, I'm looking at health. It's important, and that health, lack of health, is shown by the debris that is being carried by these flood waters. It is horrible, and there is a solution to this. But over the years, the government is not seeing the solution. They have voted a lot of money for this. There must be what we call channelization, and also diversion of these flood waters into artificial reservoirs before they reach settlement areas. All this should have been done, and this is part of the River Basin Authority that was established under the Shagari time, or even before the Shagari time. The river basins are supposed to, by now, most of them be channelized or diverted or create dams, and not only dams, irrigation systems and recreation, and also electricity from these dams, and allow it to flow gently back into sea without flooding the people. I've always said it in my speeches that we have so many rivers flowing freely into the sea, we are not making use of them. Yet we complain we don't have electricity.
Yeah, because I look at in Lagos, there's nothing stopping us having at least 20 to 30 universities in Lagos. And I say it with all modesty because even in Apapa there, you could have a maritime university. How can a big shipping state that's bringing all the goods that the country has, there is no maritime, there's no place to properly train people on how to receive freight into the country for a country that is over 200 million. Now, even in that Apapa,
I would say.
Yeah. Looking at that, Papa, there's a lot of rivers connected coming in.
Yeah,
We
creeks.
don't even know what are in those rivers. We don't know the minerals that we could get in those rivers. We don't know what are on the riverbed. We don't even, I would say we don't even know the depth. So there are some geophysical survey, science survey that could be done in those areas to know what we really have there. Uh, uh, in my last count, I said there's nothing stopping Lagos from having at least over 400 colleges where we train our people on different skills, building, joinery, electrical, mechanical, even cars and stuffs. All these things, then we can get active labor that can build a proper society, a proper environment where people can live a decent life. Um, it seems Nigeria will never get it. Let's not even say Nigeria will never get it because
There's no motivation to attempt to do what you are talking about
yeah,
by the people who claim to be in government. They don't see themselves as responsible to the people.
exactly.
They expect the people to see them as they
A
have
demigod.
to be served by the people, not them serving the people. So that's
Yeah,
the difference. Unfortunately, this is one of the things the current king was
King Charles was
establishing.
saying.
He said he has not come for the people to serve him, but to serve the people. But our
Exactly.
government in Africa are expecting the people
According the
to
people to
serve them.
serve them.
You see, it's
It's
unfortunate the people know better. They don't realize that they are the ones who
yeah,
have the power behind
it's still the colonial hangover. Because
um
when the colonialists came, that was the mentality they brought, that they were the leaders and they were the rulers, and the people must obey. And if you don't obey, they use the full weight of the law against you, because the police, which is supposed to be a law enforcement by consent, the police in Africa is not by consent. They are making themselves as the demigod. Their word is final. So in Africa,
uh,
there are no servicing institutions. All we have is just I don't want to. They're just I don't want to say
autocracy, maybe.
authoritarian
Yeah.
institutions. That's what we have in Nigeria. And maybe our Yoruba people, because we've got a lot of Yoruba people that have traveled out. We've got a lot of Igbo people that have traveled out. We've got a lot of Northerners that have traveled out. So they must have seen, a majority of them have gone back home to be part of this society. They know how it's been done abroad, and now they are seeing it that it's not working. The majority of them are not standing up. We have the days where we have Ganifa Wemi, who was always the champion of the people, who was always
Uh,
putting the government
but
on his
let me
toes.
come to that. Let me come to that. If the people will understand that Ganifai was talking on their behalf, I'm not saying that he's talking against government, but talking on their behalf, and they all come to support him, nobody can arrest him.
Yeah,
You see, our perception of service is so loop-sided.
it is. It is.
Loop-sided. Gani talked and talked. It was a lone voice in the forest of ignorant people who he was talking for, and they did not realize he was talking for them.
How do we educate our people?
And he's taking on government. He was not taking on government per se. He was
He was
trying
championing the cause of his people.
capture the people's cause so that the people will now gather force around that voice. That was what he lost. He lost that voice of the people behind what that's why sometimes I say the voice of the voiceless. There must be one who will be the voice of the voiceless, and the voiceless now come together. Now, talking about that flood, there's a very big dam on a branch of River Ogun called Onyo River, and there's an Onyo Dam. It's very massive. It contains a large volume of water. It's filling up year in year out. It's been completed since 1980.
And that dam can create electricity for at least a state and create water.
Even they grudgingly allow 9 megawatts of electric system to be installed. It could take more than that. It could have served the whole of Ogun State and then the rest of the electricity demand.
They can even give to Lagos and sell to Benin Republic as well.
And also, that dam was supposed to supply untreated water to Lagos to be treated in reservoirs that were going to be created for portable service into homes and industries, so that you don't have to perforate the land of Lagos with boreholes. And you see, the houses are falling down in pieces like a pack of cards in Lagos. Almost every day, the unreported one is more. The
exactly.
Once is more. The solution is there, and people are not. Fashola went to visit the place when he was still governor of Lagos, and when I was telling a friend that, look, Fashola should have seen that there's electricity available here. Why can't he call on the federal government to allow these things to start to work?
Fashola became the minister for works. There are so many things that get done.
It's not only on your dam. There's also the Ikeregoj dam that was completed. The equipment for the electricity has been dumped in the site over the years since 1981 or 82. The equipment for the dam to start producing electricity and serve water to the irrigated land that was supposed to be planted, and the irrigated land in behind on your dam is supposed to be about 4,000 square mile around the area.
And even those waters, they could use it. They could use it for irrigation during the dry season and have all year round farming. So there are so many things they could actually do, but we're just.
We are here. We are talking. The people are not listening. I even personally sent a message through an elder to the governor of Ogun State at one time. What are you all looking at? You have electricity just behind you and it's not working. You have water for irrigation and it's not working. You have water for portable and it's not working. What are you doing? Are you scared of the federal government? Can't you talk to the federal government? Are you not part of the government? That was what I asked. And up to today, I haven't got an answer.
It's just a pathetic sight. Thank you very much, Baba Jala. It's the much we can take for today. Thank you, our listeners. I hope you've enjoyed our program. And if there are any topics that you think you would like us to share on what is happening, you can always send it to us on Podium TV. You could either send a message to myself or send it to our
if I may quickly answer the statement there. The dams in Nigeria, most of the dams in the north are well taken care of. It's only the one in the south. Let me confirm that to you. If you could Google it on Wikipedia, you see dams in Nigeria. All the ones in the north are taken care of. I would say it categorically, because
even the streets in the north.
Buhari came back from his treatment at one of the points when he now stayed longer in Nigeria. The second week, he said he voted 65 million pounds for the repair of Bakolori Dam, whereas on your dam, Ikeregoj Dam, are there uncompleted.
No, you're right, because you go to the streets of Kano, the streets are good. You go to Kaduna, the same thing. You go to Zaria, the same thing. But you come down south, Lagos Ibadan Expressway, which is the way in and out of Lagos, is still not good. Thank you very much. This is the much we can take for today, and hopefully we'll be back again, same time, same station. Keep tuned. Thank you.
lọ́jọ́kọ́jọ́ là ń bẹ̀wẹ̀ kúkú dùkú lóko Podium International wọ́n ti wà tipẹ́tipẹ́ látìgbà tí wọ́n ti ń bàbọ̀ wọn ò fìgbà kan tẹ́rì o wọ́n ti wá ṣe bẹ̀bẹ̀ wọ́n ti gbé bẹ̀bẹ̀ dé